Okay, our session number 2 on Song of Solomon, and this is our last one, if you can believe it. The thing I want you to focus on today is the most obvious feature of this book of Song of Solomon. We could talk about the argument and how they make up and different things like that, but the most obvious feature is all throughout the book. And in chapter 7, he talks about his wife and her body and how much he loves her and how she looks and how he's enjoying her body and she's enjoying his body. God designed sex for marriage. He thought of it. It's a good thing. It isn't a bad thing. It's not a dirty thing. And for those of you that are single and planning on getting married, let me say, don't mess it up. Don't mess up your sexual intimacy in marriage by going fast forward and getting there too quickly. It's something you can recover from, but it really hampers things after you get married. For those of you that are single and maybe you were married, you understand these things. And if you're planning on not getting married again, you tell your friends. But for those of you that are married, and if you're married, you're either doing well in this area or you're not doing well in this area. And I'd ask you, however you think you're doing in this area of intimacy in your marriage, is it something that you've talked about with your spouse recently? How do they think you're doing? You don't know unless you've asked them about it. Are there things that would make them more satisfied? Are there things that would make you more satisfied? Are these conversations that you've been having? Because if not, I'll bet you the conversation is overdue. God did not design your marriage to be a intimacy-less marriage. And yet so many marriages are like that. We get into these patterns and let walls go up between us, and what happens is intimacy just isn't there. And that's never God's design. In fact, what happens is you open the door for affairs, you open the door for all kinds of things that can happen. And Proverbs talks a lot about what to do. Go back to your wife, go back to your husband, let your desire be for them and for nobody else, so that your eyes aren't looking any other place, your heart's not looking for any other place. And I think when you read the book of Song of Solomon, it's one of the great takeaways. So if you haven't read the text today, read through Song of Solomon and look at chapter 7. Look at these chapters and say, wow, this is God's design for marriage. It's God's design for your marriage. And I hope that you're not shortchanging your partner and yourself on what God has for you.